Welcome back everyone to another video, and in this video I'm going to go through suburbs requested by you. About 2 weeks ago I put out a post saying which suburbs are people investing in that you think is a terrible idea. Drop it in the comments and I'll cover it in the next video. Now there has been 5 comments down here which you can see on the screen right now covering various different suburbs, and I'm going to cover them all in this entire video for you. And without any further conversation, let's get into the first location, and that is Craigieburn in Victoria. Now when you look at Craigieburn, it is part of the wider Melbourne Metro. It is quite far away from the Melbourne CBD, but it does have a train line. It is a bit hard to get there via the highway, lots of traffic, but nonetheless it is a growing location, and it's a location that is also growing in value. And for those of you who don't know Craigieburn, it is a massive suburb, right? It's got new pockets, it's got well-established pockets, and it's got even almost 2 sides of Craigieburn in the same suburb itself. But let's have a look at the data. When we look at Craigieburn's data, you can see the median buy price is around $750,000 with a yield of around 3.5%. Now on the surface, those numbers aren't the best looking. You can find properties around 750 with above 4% yields in some parts, especially in the established properties. You can definitely find them. In the sort of newer homes, you don't find the yields to be as strong generally off the bat. And we can see that prices have been growing about 10% over the past 12 months, and it's likely going to continue to grow as there is pretty strong demand at the moment, right? You can see that properties are selling under 40 days, so that's about within a month or so. And you can see that the overall stock levels are quite low. You can see in the whole suburb, there's only about 67 listings or 0.032%. And overall, it is a very, very strong suburb in terms of supply and demand metrics. Now, there is a couple of red flags. You can see the vacancy rate's about 2.81%. So definitely higher on the threshold than what we like to see. We like to see under 2% in terms of vacancy rates. And so that would sort of eliminate the suburb for me. Or you have to just be aware that it might take longer to find a tenant to rent out the property. You can see the affordability is starting to stretch. It's going up to 40 years after all the sort of recent price growth. However, it is still reasonable for a capital city. Now, for those of you who don't know, I've actually done an in-depth video of Craigieburn covering the streets, the suburb, the economy, etc. I want you to go check out that video. But in terms of a location standpoint, you still can consider the suburb. One, if you can afford the yield in the suburb even after all the growth that has happened. I would really focus on those sort of established pockets where you can find properties at decent prices on bigger parcels of land, and that's more closer towards the infrastructure, the commercial hubs, as well as the railway station of Craigieburn. If you do sort of buy on the outskirts of Craigieburn, the sort of newer, more expensive properties, you are at risk of further development and new housing coming on this land. Of course, that still takes time and you might get some growth in the short term. However, I would just prefer to buy in the more established pockets with bigger land components. It tends to work out better in the longer term. But let's go on to the next suburb, and that is Dockland Apartments, as well as Greenfield Estates like Tarneet, Beveridge, Clyde, etc. You know, I've covered this many a time before about Melbourne apartments, especially the high-rise apartments you find in Docklands and inner Melbourne CBD. There is tons and tons and tons of high-rise apartments that you can find for under $450,000, around $500K, maybe $550 even, with pretty high yielding opportunities. I mean, all you have to do is just go on to realestate.com, look at Docklands, and you can see the number of apartments that are on this property. There's tons and tons of them. It's not worth the hassle. They don't grow in value. You're going to have lots of competition, high strata bills, and hard to sell. It's not a good investment opportunity, guys. Just avoid it at all costs. It is not worth your time, hassle, or your money, or your stress. Avoid it. Now, the next location I want to go through is Beveridge. Now, the one requested by the audience. Now, Beveridge is one of those locations that is quite removed from Melbourne Metro and Melbourne CBD. There's lots of land available, new housing coming online, and it's not something I would recommend considering. Now, once again, I've done an in-depth video of Beveridge recently, but once again, I want to state that even though it might grow in value a little bit during the short term from the price growth, you can see it's done about 10% on H-tag. Some others also say a little bit less and vice versa. The long-term risk is just a bit too high for me. There's too much vacant land. There is too much new building approvals coming online in this suburb. All you have to do is scroll down at the data, look at Beveridge, and you can see there's 531 approvals, which is about 10% of the supply in terms of the established housing in Beveridge. It's not something I recommend for a long-term hold. For a short-term hold, the vacancy rate is too high. It's around 5%. And for the same sort of money, $700,000, you can find better locations to invest in, higher yields, and better properties. And for that reason, I wouldn't consider location locations like Beveridge. Now you have sort of got locations like Tarneet as well as Clyde. It's a very similar story here. I would prefer to buy in locations that are much more established, that offer higher yields and are away from a lot of the vacant land. Now, of course, this isn't always possible in regional areas, and I understand that, but the point here is that at the same price point, I often find there are better opportunities in other locations with higher yields, and hence it's not my favorite location to invest into. Now, there is a counter argument to a lot of these locations, is that interest rates are rising, construction costs are going up and through the roof because of the Middle East war. It makes the newer homes tend to have a little bit more value. And while that statement is true, for around that 650, around that 600k price point, even 700, there is still better value opportunities out there compared to suburbs with high building approvals, lots of vacant land, and developable land supply. So keep that in mind when you want to consider these locations like Tarneed and Beveridge, etc. Stick to the established areas, stick to the locations that are landlocked, in my opinion, and you'll often tend to do a bit better. And before I go on to the next location, guys, if you want me to cover more suburbs like this, drop a comment down below of the suburb that you want me to review, and I will do it for you guys, right? That is exactly why I'm here. I'm here to expose, to help you understand and educate you about different locations that you can consider for investment. And the only way I know about which suburbs you guys want to talk about is if you let me know. So take the moment, think of a suburb that you want me to review, and I will do it for you. Drop it in the comments below and let me help you. Now let's go to the next location, and this one is provided by Sasmos Manoj. Sorry if I said your name wrong, but it's LGA Playford. Too much supply. But let's talk about Playford because I think it's actually becoming quite an interesting location overall to talk about. Now, if you didn't know, guys, or you're new to the investing scene, South Australia has done tremendous numbers over the past 3 to 5 years. It's literally doubled, tripled in value in some location, and it has exploded in growth over the past 3 to 5 years. It's done so well, it's insane. And to be honest, it's still going in some parts of South Australia. And when you look at sort of Elizabeth Downs, the Playford area, at Davern Park, Smithfield, Salisbury, etc., this location has grown a lot in value. And when you look at the city of Playford at a LGA level, you can see the median buy price is around $750 with a 3.6% yield. Now, quite honestly, I can find properties around $600,000, 3x1 older homes, brick homes with about a 4.5% yield across some locations in Elizabeth Downs. And I'm tempted to do an in-depth video on it as well. And you can see that price growth has been insane. About 121% growth over the past 5 years is absolutely crazy. But to the point of the commenter, you can see that the building approvals is around 2,000 approvals, about 4%, which just falls outside my metrics worthy of consideration. And when you look at the city of Playford, you can see a lot of developable land supply in and around the area across multitude of the suburbs. And a lot of this new housing supply will come onto this location, 18, 24 months down the track, which can impact house prices. There is a point that I do want to make here, is that a lot of that new housing is going to be a little bit more expensive. It's going to be in that 700, 750k price point, especially with the sort of Middle East war happening and construction prices going up. It's going to make a lot of these housing projects more expensive to make, market, and sell. And then even on top of that, it's going to take even longer to fulfill those requirements. And so if you invest in the short term, you might get some growth even after all the growth that's happened. And there is some value opportunities because you still can find, if you do the work, you can find properties around 600, 650k in a capital city. Of course, there's trade-offs in terms of socioeconomics, renter to owner occupier ratio, and a lot of the capital growth already. But for those of you who are looking specifically at South Australia, it could be an opportunity with a bunch of trade-offs. And I might actually do an in-depth video on Playford if you guys want me to. But to your point, yes, there is more land supply, but it's not the same like Beveridge. And the reason is the relative price point when you compare Beveridge to an area like Playford. Now, the next one is Gosford. Gosford, he said there is nothing to do there. Now, those of you guys don't know, Gosford is in New South Wales. Now, when you look at Gosford in terms of numbers, it's $1 million to buy, 2.71% yield. I would invest there anyway. But just so the starting point, I would say that I don't really invest in locations just because there's nothing to do there. A lot of regional locations, you can say it's not like a Sydney nightlife or a Melbourne nightlife, but there are things to do there. If you will visit a lot of the regional towns right across New South Wales, like Bathurst, Dubbo, they have beautiful wineries. Bathurst has got the race, there's golf. There's people who live there and people who build their whole lives in these regional towns. My opinion is just look at the underlying socioeconomics from the economy, the fundamentals from supply and demand, how many business registrations are going in that that area, etc. And that will tell you whether the location is good to invest in or not just if there's nothing to do there. So hopefully I've interpreted that right. But yeah, I wouldn't invest there anyway in terms of the yield and the overall price point. It just doesn't make sense from a portfolio scalability perspective, and cash flow takes a massive hit. So not for me. Sorry guys if I do sound a bit croaky. I am very ill at the moment, but I still want to make content for you guys. And the last one is Ballarat. There's too much land supply. I feel like the question is always about land supply. And yes, there's a lot of land around Ballarat, but guess what? There's also a lot of land around Ararat. There's a lot of land around a lot of these regional locations like Bendigo, like Shepparton, etc., right across the state and other states as well. But we try to hedge the risks, right? When you look at Ballarat, it's already doing numbers. 680k median buy price, yield 3.2%, and it's done about 13% growth over the past 12 months. If you're early to the market, you could have got a 4.5% yield, but now you're looking at low fours, high threes. So you got to be a little bit careful in terms of cash flow. If you're going to invest into locations like Winter Valley, you do have to be careful when you're buying on the outskirts of that suburb. You can see that there is new housing coming in these vacant pockets around Delacombe, Windery, Sebastopol, etc. However, if you once again focus on those established pockets of the CBD, close to the shops, the commercial centers, the jobs, then you're still going to do pretty well in the long term. Now, is it a market that I'd enter right now? The real opportunity was about 6 to 12 months ago. Right now, the yields are a bit too low that you have to be very comfortable with your holding costs if you want to enter this market. Prices have gone from low 500s, 550s to around 650 for a decent 3x1. So you have to be pretty careful sort of jumping into this market at this point in time. It's the same story with Craigieburn. A lot of these regional locations, I try not to invest in the outskirts of the town. In the more established pockets is where you want to go. And once again, with the too much land supply, you got to think about things. Are you buying under market value? Are you buying at a price point that's going to buy you land as well as a house? A lot of these new housing estates are very expensive to purchase, around 750 for a 4x2, but it's on 400 square meters of land or less. But you can buy a decent 3x1 brick home on 700 square meters of land for like 600, 650. You're getting a lot of value from that perspective. So it's all about relative price point as well as timing the market. I don't think Ballarat is a terrible investment. I think it can be a decent investment if you buy right. And so I hope that has helped you guys with the reviews. Like always, jump in the private community if you need help for me to review suburbs for you. But otherwise, drop a suburb in the comments and I will review it for you guys at a certain point in time. I am here to help you guys. So if you have any questions at all, drop it in the comments. Otherwise, join the private community and get the help right this instant so that you know what you're investing in. Till next time, thank you very much.